Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the horticultural statistics in India. So, what is horticulture? So, actually, horticulture is a branch of agricultural science which deals the study of vegetables, flowers, aromatic plants, plantation crops, etc. So, right now in horticulture is also different branches like pomology, that is study of fruits, olericulture, that is study of vegetable crops, floriculture, flowers and ornamental plants, and also the various others plantation crops, medicinal and aromatic plants, post harvest technology, etc. So today this topic is horticultural ethics of fruits, vegetables, and other parts of the horticulture in India. So, horticulture in India, India is endowed with a remarkable heterogeneous area characterized by a great diversity of agroclimatic zones. So, I mean, in India, we have the diverse agroclimatic zones allowing for production of a variety of horticultural crops such as fruits, vegetables, flowers, spices, plantation crops, roots and tuber crops, medicinal and aromatic crops. So in terms of the agroclimatic conditions, we have the different regions in India. So due to climatic diversity in India, we grow the all types of fruits, all types of vegetables, we medicinal and aromatic crops, plant crops, etc. So it is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world, next to China. China ranks number one in both fruits and vegetables, and India on second rank. So horticulture exports has helped the country to earn rupees 14,000 crores in 2013 and 2014. So Indian rupees 14,000 crores. Then snapshots of horticulture. Horticulture alone accounts for 30% of India's agricultural GDP. So we can get the total GDP of Indian agriculture. Horticulture accounts 30% of that. So total Indian agriculture GDP 8.5 of the total crop area. Then India's major exports include onion, mango pulp, fresh mangoes, dried walnuts, fresh grapes, etc. And India's biggest export markets are South Asian and Middle East countries. So Middle East countries are our main destination of export of horticultural produce. India's share in the global market is insignificant. It accounts for 1.7% of the global trade in vegetables. And now in this, you can see the statistics of production share of horticultural crops. So maximum is vegetables that accounts 60.76%, then fruits 29.70%, then plantation crops 6.36%. Then spices 2.31%. Aromatic plants 0.22%. Flowers 0.64%. So this one is the statistics, or we can say the contribution of different segments of horticulture. Fruits and vegetables, botanical and popular. So botanically, a fruit is the ripened ovary wall. Ripened ovary wall. So the ovary is part of the carpel. So the innermost wall of the flower, the female reproductive structure. The ovary contains the ovules, the haploid equivalent to mammalian eggs. So we can say the in carpel, ovary wall after maturity convert in the fruits, and ovules convert in the seeds. So some fruits also contain parts of the flower base. So in this one, the good example is apple, that is known as the false fruit. Botanical fruits can be classified as fleshy, dry dehiscent, and dry indehiscent. So most of what are popularly called fruits are fleshy fruits. So the generally understood common definitions of a fruit is sweet and aromatic, fleshy, plant products that are mainly eaten as dessert or a first course in a meal and not as the main meal. Thus, many fleshy fruits in a botanical sense, such as tomato and cucumber, are considered vegetables in popular cultures. In botany, a vegetable is simply any plant or plant part. In the common definition, vegetables are plant products eaten with the main course. In taste, they are salty or sour or soury, but not sweet. Some vegetables are botanical fruits, tomatoes, chili, brinjal, peas, and also in the cooker beets. And others are plant stems like potatoes and leaves, roots, etc. So depend classification of fruits depending upon physical characteristics. Fruits are classified as berries. Examples are blackberries, cranberries, blueberries, gooseberries, strawberries, and grapes. In citrus fruits, lime, lemons, oranges, grapefruit, etc. In fruits, mango, cherries, peaches, apricots, plums, nectarines, prunes, coconut. Melons, watermelon, cassava, Persian, honeydew, poms, especially temperate fruits like apple, pears, quince, and tropical fruits, berries, papayas, pomegranates, pineapple. Classification of vegetables. So in category, earth vegetable roots, sweet potatoes, carrots, etc. Modified stem tubers, potatoes. Modified buds, tubers, onions, garlics. Herbaceous vegetables, leaves, cabbage, spinach, lettuce, etc. Petioles, celery, rhubarb. Flower buds, cauliflower and broccoli. Sprouts or shoots, asparagus or bamboo shoots. Fruits and vegetables in legumes, peas, green beans. In cereals, sweet corn. Vine fruits, cucumber, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, ridge gourd. Berry fruits like tomato, brinjal, chili, etc. So here in nutritional figures, so we can say fruits and vegetables are rich source of mineral nutrients, carbohydrate, proteins, fat, as vitamins, etc. It is more than cereals. Horticulture statistics, why required? What is the present status? And what are the constraints? Way forward, why required? To make correct assessment of growth in the horticulture sector. So I mean we are growing or declining. So we can get the correct, we can make the correct assessment to ensure effective monitoring and evaluation of the concerned development policies and programs. Then to facilitate prospective planning and harnessing vast potential in the horticulture sector, analyze data to gain better knowledge and understanding of the situation for taking appropriate measures to promote systematic development of horticulture. Present status of horticulture data. So in multiple agencies involved in collection or compilation of data, Department of Agriculture and Cooperation through state horticulture departments, state directorates of economics and statistics through crop estimation survey, fruits and vegetable plant scheme, export import data from DGCIS, APEDA, DGFT, etc., and crop boards. Spices Board of India, Coconut Development Board, Cashew Nut Development Board, etc. And market intelligence data through National Horticulture Board and Directorate of Marketing Inspection in Ministry of Agriculture, and research and other organizations like NS, RDF or SFAC, etc. Facts and figures. So status of fruits and vegetables. India has diverse climate, ensure availability of varieties of fresh fruits and vegetables. So we can say in India we have diverse agroclimatic conditions and also the diversity in soils. So in diverse climatic conditions, we can grow the all types of fruits and vegetables. So it can make the ensure availability of all types of fresh fruits and vegetables. India ranks second in fruits and vegetable production in the world, next to China. So we are in good position in terms of the production of fruits and vegetables. So according to National Horticulture Board, during 2011 and 12, India produced 77 million metric tons of fruits and 156.33 million metric tons of vegetables. So area under cultivation of fruits stood at 7.704 million hectares, while in vegetables were cultivated in 8.99 million hectares. So now vegetables area is increased, that is around 10.5 million hectares. So India is the largest producer of ginger and okra among vegetables. So in terms of the ginger and okra, we are standing on first position, and India ranks second in production of potatoes, cauliflower, brinjal, and cabbage. So among fruits, the country ranks first in production of bananas, papayas, mangoes, and guavas. In terms of if we compare the yields in selected commodities, so we can say in rice and paddy, wheat, maize, cotton, and major cereals. So India is too far. Okay. But in terms of the fruits and vegetables, we are on second position. So in this one, trends in fruits and vegetable production. So you can see here, in terms of the vegetable production, is continuously increasing the graph, and we can say in terms of the fruits, that is the slope. And share of fruits produced in India, so we can say banana 39.8%, mangoes 20.3%, that is the on second number, and banana on number 1, and citrus fruits on third position with 10%, papaya 5.6%, guava 3.3%, and apple 3.9%, pineapple 1.9%, sapota 1.9%, grapes 1.6%, pomegranate 1%, and others in 10.1%. In case of the vegetables, is maximum share is of potatoes, that is 20.9%. Then second number is tomatoes, 11.3%, onions 10.3%, brinjal 8.1%, and tapioca 5.5%, cabbage 5.4%, cauliflower 4.6%, okra 3.9%, and peas, sweet peas 2.4%, sweet potato 0.7%, and remaining vegetables, I mean the other vegetables, 18.8%. So this one is the export status. So during 2012-13, India exported fruits and vegetables worth rupees 5,986.72 crores, which comprised of fruits worth rupees 2,503.75 crores and vegetables worth 3,482.97 crores. So in mangoes, walnuts, grapes, bananas, pomegranates accounts for larger portion of fruits exported from the country, while onions, okra, green chilies, mushrooms contribute largely to the vegetable export baskets, and major destination for India for fruits and vegetables is United Arab Emirates, Bangladesh, Malaysia, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. And this one is the for processed food. So especially we consider for fruit juices and also the beverages and other products. That's about the food processing in India. Mango pulp. India's export of processed food India's export of processed food was rupees 38,150.86 crores in 2013-14, which include the share of mango pulp, that is 608.56 crores, dried and preserved vegetables, that is 637.96 crores, other processed fruits and vegetables, 1,733.06 Indian crore in Indian rupees. Pulses 1,285 crores Indian rupees, and groundnuts 4,065.36 crores Indian rupees, and guar gum 21,287.01 crores, jaggery and confectionery 917.60, and alcoholic and other non-alcoholic items. So make in India 192 million hectares of gross crop area. So out of that 89.9 million hectares of net irrigated area, and 127 agroclimatic zones in India, 42 mega food parks being set up with an allocated investment of Indian rupees 98 billions, and major foreign investors are like Crafts in USA, Mars in USA, Nestle Switzerland, McCain Canada, Domain in France, or Ferrero Italy, Del Monte in USA, Kagome in Japan, or Kellogg's in USA, Pepsi USA, Unilever in Anglo-Dutch, or Perfetti in Italy, Cargill USA, Coca-Cola USA, and Hershey in USA. So major exported products, mango. Mangoes comes in various shapes, size, and colors with a wide variety of flavor, aroma, and taste. So a single mango can provide up to 40% of the daily dietary fibers needs. So a potent protector against heart disease, cancer, cholesterol buildup. So this delicious fruit is a warehouse of potassium, beta carotene, and antioxidants. Mangoes are mainly grown in tropical and subtropical regions. From sea level varieties, various varieties, grapes, fresh onions, mango pulp, suggestions. So better seed can increase the yield by 40%. Balanced fertilizer usage is equally critically. So this one is also very important to increase the production as well as to maintain the quality. And irrigation can also increase the incomes. So especially in case of the fruits, drip irrigation can save the water and increase the yield. Credit and land holdings are critical from economic point of view. Improve profitability of farmers, fixed base rates, contract farming can raise profitability, promote the use of biofuels, and prepare a prospective plan for treating degraded lands. Thank you. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Rajendra Mori, and today I am here to discuss about the marigold production technology. So we can see the marigold. Marigold belongs to genus Tagetes, and in Tagetes is different species. So what we will discuss in Tagetes like Tagetes erecta, Tagetes spatula, uh, Tagetes tenuifolia, Tagetes minuta, and also many more species. But today we will discuss just only some important species of marigold. So two species are commercially important, and we consider commercially cultivated. So one is the African marigold and second one is the French marigold. So botanical name of African marigold is Tagetes erecta, and for French marigold is Tagetes spatula. And this marigold belongs to family Asteraceae. So in family Asteraceae, common characteristics is the flowers are ray and this type of florets, flower arrangement. So African marigold, Tagetes erecta, that is the tall type and bears the big size flowers, and in terms of the height is over 1 meter in height. Or French marigold, that is the 45 to 60 centimeters tall and flowers bear the small one. And other important things, the Tagetes erecta, that is the diploid, and Tagetes spatula is tetraploid type species. So genus Tagetes, in genus Tagetes, there are 33 species, but commercially two species, Tagetes erecta and Tagetes spatula, are commercially cultivated, commercially grown in our country. And in Western countries, another species, Tagetes tenuifolia, is also grown. So importance of marigold. Marigold is one of the most commonly grown flowers in gardens for garden decoration and also extensively used as loose flowers for garland making, for religious as well as for social functions. And petals also can use for the rangoli making with the use of the petals of marigold. And these petals are very important feed for poultry. So it has gained popularity amongst the gardeners on account of its easy cultivation. So wide adaptability and year-round flower production. So this one is the very easy to cultivate and is very popular and mostly grown nearby the cities or urban areas. And cost of cultivation is very low, and we can say the is high return providing crop. So its free flowering habit, short duration to produce, and marketable flowers, wide spectrum of attractive colors, shapes, size, and good keeping quality has attracted the attention towards its of many amateurs and commercial flower growers. So this is very important due to these important characteristics. And marigold is also highly suitable for bedding, aging, and herbaceous borders, as well as is lovely pot plant. So cultivars in marigold are African marigold, I mean the Fortegatus erecta is Pusa Narangi Genda, Pusa Basanti Genda, and Giant double African orange, cracker jack, crown of gold, Goinia gold, double eagle, doubloon, climax, Hawaii, New Alaska, and spoon gold. These are the important cultivars or varieties of Tagetes erecta, or we can say the for African marigold. And for the French marigold, that is the Tagetes spatula, these cultivars are Pusa arpita, butterball, flesh, color magic, Jenny gold, Jenny yellow, star of India, red brocade, rusty red, Susana, and Valencia. So these are the important and commercially important French marigold cultivars. So now we are coming on interspecies hybrids. So as you know, we already discussed about the African marigold and French marigold, and these two species are commercially very important, or in general, these two species out of 33 species, these two species are commercially cultivated. So the interspecies between the Tagetes erecta and Tagetes spatula is also some varieties evolved. So these varieties, popular varieties are Pusa Sankarvan, Nougat, red and gold, red 7-star, and snowboard. These are the interspecies hybrids. Or in terms of the soil and climate, marigold is very easy crop. So we can say marigold can be grown in wide range of soils. So African marigold prefers well-manured, moist soil, while French marigold prefers well-drained, light soils. So we can see the both species soil requirement is different. So the ideal pH for growing marigold is around neutral. So you know the soil pH is 0 to 14. So in this one is the 7 is neutral. So we can say the almost 6 to 7.5 is ideal pH range for successful cultivation of marigold. Marigold can be grown in a wide range of climatic conditions throughout year, except old winters when temperature is less than 10 degrees Celsius. Ideal growing temperature ranges in between 15 to 35 degrees Celsius. Very high temperature also affects adversely growth and flowering of marigold. So temperature and soil moisture, and also the fertility status of the soil, soil pH, soil EC, all plays very important role for the production of flowers in African as well as French marigold. Then propagation. So marigold is commercially grown through seeds. So we can see the commercial propagation method of marigold is seeds. So about 500 to 600 gram seeds is sufficient to grow marigold in 1 hectare area. So we can say the marigold seed rate is 500 to 600 gram. And double marigold cultivars are also perpetuated through 5 to 10 centimeter long terminal stem cuttings that is taken during the July to September months. So we can say the double marigold cultivars we can also propagate by vegetative means. So these cuttings are treated with IBA or NAA. So we can see the IBA, indole butyric acid, is commercially used rooting hormone that is in under Auxins. So 500 ppm solution of IBA is good. So we can treat the basal end of the cuttings, terminal cuttings, for 1 to 2 minutes before planting in beds. And the nursery becomes ready for transplanting at 4-leaf stage, coming after 4 to 6 weeks. So we can say the around 1 to 1.5 months is the age of the seedlings for transplanting, and ideal time for raising nursery in different areas. So for summer season in low hills, February March, rainy season May June, and for winter season September October. Or in case of mid hills in summer season January February, or for rainy season May June, high hills March April, and May June. Spacings. So African marigold, I told you that is the tall type, so it requires the uh, wide spacing. So we can say the 40 into 30 centimeters, 40 centimeter row to row, and 30 centimeter plant to plant distance. Or in case of the French marigold, 30 centimeter row to row distance and 30 centimeter also in plant to plant spacing. Dwarf cultivars, row to row 30 centimeter and plant to plant 20 centimeters. Or in case of the pots, 20 centimeter size pots, we can grow 1 or 3 seedlings per pot. Nutrition. So in case of the African marigold, Tagetes erecta, 5 kilogram farmyard manure and nitrogen 30 gram, phosphorus 10 gram, potassium 10 gram. This is the requirement for per square meter area. Or in case of the French marigold, farmyard manure 3 kg per square meter, nitrogen 20 gram, phosphorus 10 gram, and potassium 10 grams. So all dose of FIN and 1/3 of nitrogen, full dose of phosphorus and potassium are mixed in the soil at the time of final field preparation. And rest dose of nitrogen is applied in 2 split doses after 30 and 60 days of transplanting. So in case of French marigold, nitrogen is applied in 2 splits, one at transplanting and second after 1 month of transplanting. So this is the requirement of the plant nutrients and what time we should apply these nutrients. Or irrigation at 7 to 10 days intervals. So during September, November, and twice a week during March and June is ideal. So we can say irrigation, especially in case of the winter season, that time is low temperature. So once in a week is sufficient. Or in case of the summer season, twice a week is important. Pinching. So in pinching, terminal growing part is removal of terminal growing part. That is known as pinching. And the main purpose of pinching to remove the apical dominance so we can promote the side branches. So we can increase the number of branches that will increase the yield of flower production. So shoots about 2 to 3 centimeter long is removed to overcome apical dominance. and to promote the side branching when the plants are about 15 to 20 centimeter in height. Staking, string or rope is erected at 20, 35 and 50 centimeter above the ground level in 3 rows at the same distance along the rows. And also we can use the wooden sticks to give the support of plants. Then interculture and weeding. So hoeing once or twice during the first 40 days is ideal to control the most of the weeds and to maintain soil in good till. So we can say the manual weeding or hand weeding is advisable. But sometimes if we are growing the marigold on large scale, so that is expensive. So we can also use some weedicides for chemical control like atrazine or basaline. At the rate 1 to 1.5 kg active ingredient per hectare is ideal for spray as pre-planting. Diseases and insect pests. So most common disease is damping off or collar rot. So damping off like the Pythium aphanidermatum or Rhizoctinia solani, Phytophthora, these. So for control of damping of disease, we have to drench the soil with 2 gram per liter solution of Bovestin. So this is the this damping of disease occurs during the seedling stage. So and that is the soil-borne disease. So it's better we can treat the soil before seed sowing to raise seedlings. And leaf and inflorescence blight that is called due to Alternaria, Cercospora, or Septoria. So in this one also, when we notice the symptoms on leaf and inflorescence, so we have to spray some fungicides to control this disease. And viruses like cucumber mosaic virus. So viral diseases is very difficult to control. So for that purpose, we have to spray some insecticides to control the vectors. And red spider mites, thrips, and hairy caterpillars are important insects. So these are the sucking type pests. So we have to spray like the imidacloprid, etc. And damage by spider mites. Red spider mites attack in the marigold. Thrips attack in marigold. And flower harvesting. So we can say the marigold is generally considered as the loose flowers. So fully open flowers are harvested during the cool hours, either in the early morning or evening. And bamboo baskets are the important package materials. So bamboo baskets or crates or gummy or polythene bags we can use. So out of these, the bamboo baskets are excellent material. So when we will do the harvesting, irrigation should be done 1 day before harvesting. Increase the shelf life of flowers because 1 day before, if we will do the irrigation, so that will maintain the turgidity and flowers will remain fresh. Average yield category. African marigold 10 to 18 tons per hectare and 1.5 to 2.5 millions per hectare. French marigold 8 to 12 tons per hectare or 6.8 millions per hectare. Hybrids 15 to 20 tons per hectare or 3.5 millions per hectare.